This adorable infant version of Yoda was first introduced in the season premiere of The Mandalorian, the first ever live-action Star Wars series. Jon Favreau promised to explore the dark and weird corners of the Star Wars universe, and Baby Yoda definitely qualifies as weird, albeit extremely cute. In this first episode, the Mandalorian is tasked to retrieve Baby Yoda by this unnamed character, simply known as the Client. It is worth noting that the Client is played by legendary filmmaker Werner Herzog, who is admitted to never watching a single Star Wars movie. The Client has former connections with the Empire. He is seen being protected by a squadron of rundown stormtroopers, and he is also joined by an unnamed Imperial doctor. The Client tells the Mandalorian to bring the asset back alive, but if necessary, the asset should be killed. We later learn that 2 additional bounty hunters were also hired by the Client. He obviously doesn't want the power of Baby Yoda in another person's hands. The Doctor is seen to be upset by the Client's willingness to have the baby killed, which points to a bigger conspiracy at play. A Twitter user by the name of Numidian Prime pointed out that the Doctor is seen wearing a Kaminoan emblem, a patch worn by all clones created on the planet Kamino. Most Star Wars fans will recognize Kamino as the clone manufacturing planet from Attack of the Clones. Kamino is infamously known for creating the clone army that destroyed the Jedi Order. This single patch opens up the floodgates for possible theories concerning Baby Yoda. Are the Client and the Doctor planning to clone the child, or is the child a clone already? In Episode 3, the Client and the Doctor can be seen arguing over what to do with Baby Yoda after he is studied. The Client thinks that the baby should be killed. However, the Doctor argues that Baby Yoda was ordered to be brought back alive. That means that the Client isn't the one calling the final shots. Someone higher up is giving them orders. There is much mystery surrounding the Client. Werner Herzog says he doesn't have much screen time this season, but his character lays the foundation for what the story is. We can assume that the Client was high up in the Imperial Order before the Empire fell. He commands stormtroopers and has a vast knowledge of the galaxy's underworld. We can also assume that the Client is knowledgeable about the powers of the Force and the history of the Jedi and the Sith, which is rare even for an Imperial officer. Most Imperial officers of high rank have no knowledge of the Force. Even Tarkin is quick to doubt Vader's devotion to his dying religion.
Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
The Client may have worked closely with both Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, and that partnership may be continuing throughout The Mandalorian. Darth Vader is dead, that much is certain, but as we all know, the Emperor himself is set to make his return in Episode 9. How is this possible? Nobody knows, except for the writers. Many fans, including myself, have speculated on Palpatine's possible resurrection before his return was even announced. Palpatine returning from the dead goes back to the stories of Star Wars legends. In Dark Empire, it is revealed that Palpatine, before dying, made a series of clones that he could embody through the Force, essentially making him immortal. In one way or another, Palpatine is set to make his official return in Star Wars canon. Using Palpatine as a primary antagonist in The Rise of Skywalker makes sense to me. It's been Palpatine from the very beginning who has plotted and fought against the Jedi, but how will he return? Will J.J. Abrams take from Star Wars legends and introduce a line of Palpatine clones? This could be the connection between The Mandalorian and The Rise of Skywalker. Maybe the Client and the Doctor are enacting a contingency plan crafted by the Emperor himself. As Emperor, Palpatine had access to the archives of the Old Republic, and we know that the Republic kept records on the locations of Force-sensitive beings. It's possible that the Republic and the Jedi Order were aware of Baby Yoda's birth, and this could be how Baby Yoda was located by the Empire.
He deserves better than a slave's life.
Had he been born in the Republic, we would have identified him earlier.
The plan by Palpatine could be as simple as training this young child to become his successor. He has done it before in the form of Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and Anakin, and he even attempted to turn Luke to the dark side, the strongest Jedi in history. While it's not entirely clear what they did to Baby Yoda, the Doctor is shown to be sympathetic towards the child, while the Client is not. The Doctor even tells the Mandalorian that he had no intention of harming the child. For Palpatine, raising a successor from birth makes things way less complicated, especially if this child is a Kamino clone.
They are totally obedient, taking any order without question. We modified their genetic structure to make them less independent than the original host.
Literally nothing is known about Yoda's species. Before The Mandalorian, we had only seen 2 members of the species appear on screen, Yoda and Yaddle. We don't know what they are, where they come from, but we do know this: they are extremely powerful. Yoda and Yaddle both sat on the Jedi Council, with Yoda often being considered the strongest Jedi in the galaxy. Baby Yoda has already shown the ability to lift many times his own weight using the Force. Studying a living member of the Yoda species would be an incredibly rare opportunity for the Empire. Maybe this is why the client feels comfortable with killing the child after it's studied, and they have the necessary information. The child could now be used against them if it falls into the wrong hands. By studying the anatomy of Baby Yoda, they could apply this science to their clones, and this is how Palpatine could return in Episode 9. We don't know what type of state Palpatine is in after the Empire fell. He may be a spirit searching for a body, similar to Voldemort in Harry Potter, not dead but not quite alive either. His spirit would take control of a Kamino clone that was created with Baby Yoda's DNA, effectively bringing Palpatine back from the dead with a new and improved Force-sensitive vessel. Imagine having the combined power of both Palpatine and Yoda. This power could apply to the Emperor's resurrection in Episode 9, or it could apply to an additional character roaming around the Star Wars universe. No Star Wars theory video is complete without the obligatory speculation over the origins of Rey, one of the most powerful Force users in the saga. We on this channel have already theorized about Rey's origins, specifically her connection to Palpatine. We explore the parallels between Rey and Palpatine and speculate on whether she is a descendant of the Sith Lord. One aspect of this theory is based on Rey being Palpatine's clone. At the time, we didn't have much evidence for this theory, but that didn't stop us. It was a long-shot explanation as to why Rey was so powerful in The Force Awakens. Just recently, director J.J. Abrams said Rey's power is not an accident. I smell a retcon coming.
They were nobody.
They were filthy junk traders who sold you off for drinking money.
With The Mandalorian bringing Kamino back into the fold, the theory of Rey being a superpowered clone has more legitimacy. Palpatine may have been playing the long game by creating a clone of himself and stashing this clone on a desert planet. Maybe this is the contingency plan that the client was tasked with. Successfully locate Baby Yoda, use Baby Yoda to create an extremely powerful Force-sensitive clone, hide this clone on a desert planet to be raised by the elements. Like Yoda, little is known about Rey, where she comes from, who her parents are. In fact, there are several cinematic parallels between Rey, Baby Yoda, and even Luke. All 3 are extremely powerful Force users who began their journeys on isolated desert planets. In Rey's case, she was left with no guidance, and this may have been intentional. Having to fend for herself for all those years made Rey an exceptionally skilled warrior and scavenger. She is seen fighting off 2 individuals by herself before she even discovers her Force powers. We speculated that Rey's upbringing on Jakku was a plan to recreate the conditions of Luke's childhood. Minus the guidance of an Uncle Owen or an Aunt Beru or an Obi-Wan, the conditions for Rey's childhood would be extreme, forcing her to channel her rage and anger into power. The perfect conditions for molding a Sith Lord. It was revealed in Revenge of the Sith that the midichlorians, the microorganisms living inside every person, can be manipulated for the purpose of giving life to Force-sensitive human beings. Anakin Skywalker himself was created by Palpatine and the midichlorians.
Master, sir, I heard Yoda talking about midichlorians. I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides.
I know a lot of people hate that word and what it represents, but a part of me hopes The Mandalorian and The Rise of Skywalker will address midichlorians and the role that they've played in Rey's origin. Midichlorians can be the connective tissue between The Mandalorian and The Rise of Skywalker, and explain why Baby Yoda, a character so powerful in the Force, was introduced in the first place. But what do you guys think? Do you believe Baby Yoda's midichlorians were used to bring back Palpatine to life, or used to create Rey? Or did I just waste 10 minutes of your time? Probably the latter, but let me know in the comments section below, regardless. Then again, it is a Star Wars video, so I avoid the comments like the Black Plague. May the Force be with you. Sometimes. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video, and of course we would like to thank our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, Nerd Soup wouldn't be Nerd Soup. Seriously, your support is what keeps the fridge full, so thank you once again for your support. If you are interested in supporting Nerd Soup through Patreon, visit our page and check out the different rewards we offer to our fans. If not, then no problem. We appreciate anyone who takes time from their day to watch our videos. So thank you to each and every one of you out there watching, and remember to like and share this video. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like it. Or don't.